have a lot on your plate, too much on your plate perhaps. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. I say you can never have too many caramels on your plate, but I could be wrong. This is one of those idioms and expressions that's relatively new. It just came about in the United States in the 90s, the 1990s. That's, way, same age as my kids. They came about in the 90s as well. So it's not that old an expression, but we use it a lot. We use it to describe situations where we're feeling like we're doing too much, we're taking on too much, we're overwhelmed. So let's talk about 6 signs to know if you are having too much on your plate, and then 11 things to do about it. I don't want to tell you, hey, here's the signs. You're overwhelmed. You've got too much going on. You've got too much on your plate. Even if they are delicious caramels, but you want to know what to do about it. I don't want to leave you hanging. So what are the signs that you've got too much on your plate? If you've ever been overwhelmed or overstressed or done too much or taken on too much, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know that feeling of there's just not enough hours in the day. Do you ever catch yourself saying, oh, I'm so busy, I'm too busy, I can't do that, I don't know how I'm going to get everything done? Then you know that you've got too much on your plate. With COVID and the changes to lifestyles, almost everyone is either totally overwhelmed or totally underwhelmed because a lot of their activities have been canceled and they've got everything canceled and nothing on their plate, no interaction. Or they're trying to do their work from home, they're trying to homeschool their kids, they're trying to have some semblance of a life, still figure out how to get the supplies and the things that they need to live their life even though they're at home. And luckily, things after a year seem to be opening up a little bit, at least in different areas. I'm visiting Texas right now, and I'm finding the additional freedom, or the return to freedoms, let's say the return to freedoms, because it's not additional freedoms, it's the things that we just took for granted before, we're able to do a lot more of here. There's still places where you need to take a mask, you need to wear a mask when you're in there, usually the big box and big corporate stores, no surprise there, but just loosening up and going back to some of the things that we're used to take for granted has been very fun and very stress relieving. So what are 6 signs that you know that you've got too much on your plate? Even if it's good stuff on your plate, maybe you've got too much business, that can be just as stressful or as debilitating as not enough business. So one of those things is you're saying yes to too many things. You're saying yes to everything. I used to do this. I used to say yes to everything, especially when my kids were little, and try to do everything, all of their activities, all of their interests, plus work and businesses and all of my own interests. And it literally burnt me out to the point of having a health event that stopped me in my tracks and caused me to have to change dramatically what I didn't say yes to. Another way to know that another sign of too much on your plate is if you're feeling overwhelmed. Are you feeling overwhelmed or stressed or frustrated? Number 3 is, are you procrastinating? Are you putting things off because you just can't get them all done when you would like to get them done? Are you waking up in the middle of the night thinking about or worried about things that you have to do? Might be things for work, might be things for home, might be things for your health, whatever. Are you losing sleep at night? That's a sign that you've got too much on your plate. Number 5, are you making rookie errors? Are you making mistakes that you would normally never make because you're just trying to do too many things? And finally, are you spending every supposed spare time, weekend, and holiday trying to catch up on your work, catch up on your life, catch up on the kids' schooling, whatever? That is the 6th sign that you've got absolutely positively too much on your plate. So what can we do about this? What are 11 things we can do to make sure we don't have too much on our plate? Now, I will admit I snickered when I heard this and read this article, because it was actually a blog post of 33 things that you can do if you've got too much on your plate. Now, I laugh because if I've got too much on my plate, the last thing I want to see is a list of 11 or 33 things that I probably have to do to get more off my plate, which is silly, but it did make me laugh. So what are the 11 things that you can do right now to try to take some of the pressure off and get some things off your plate? Number 1, grab a scheduler and start planning. If you're not planning and you're just hodgepodge doing things, they always take more time than if you plan them out and schedule them, and you have a time that you're going to do something and you do it during that time frame. Number 2, focus on one thing at a time. As hard as it is, if you're helping the kids with their schoolwork, help your kids with their schoolwork. Don't be helping the kids with your schoolwork while you're answering emails, while you're cooking dinner, because none of the 3 tasks will turn out as well as if you actually focus on the task at hand. Some things we can multitask in, especially women. Other things we have to give our undivided attention to. So if it's a focused activity, schedule it and make sure that you get it done during that time frame, or you focus on it during that time frame. Number 3, learn to say no. Don't say yes to everything. Think about, your time and your energy. Your time is your greatest resource. If you're giving it all away, you're going to be in trouble, because we need to have some recharge our battery times as well. Number 4, ask for help. Number 5, prioritize. A lot of times we say yes to too many things because we're not being consistent with what's really important to us. So keep in mind your priorities when you decide what you're going to say yes and no to. Number 6, get some sleep. Make sure that you're getting sleep. One of the first things I used to sacrifice when I had too much to do was sleep. I went for a decade or more on like 4 hours sleep a night, and I found out it wasn't enough. I thought it was at the time, but it definitely wasn't. Number 7, eat healthy foods. Eat foods that give you energy, not quick fix foods like coffee or sea salt caramels, but foods that actually nourish your body and give you energy. Number 8, and this one, if you would have asked me 20 years ago, I would have laughed, but exercise. If you exercise and do something physically active, it gives you more energy to do the other activities in your life. Number 9, make time to relax and recharge your batteries. That's one of the first things that usually goes when we're busy and overwhelmed and have too much on our plate. Number 10, find the one thing that's the most important. And I actually discovered this about 3 years ago. And I went from a four item, I wish I had a 4-item to-do list. I had like a 400 item to-do list. And I went down to picking one thing a day that was my must-do, had to get done, focused thing for the day. And anything I got done beyond that was just, it gave me a sense of massive accomplishment and a feeling of success, because I got my one thing done, and then I'd always get more things done too, because we always do more than one thing a day. But if I got my highest priority, number 1 thing done at the beginning of the day, it gave me that win early in the day, and it made everything else just fall into place faster and easier, and I could just get a lot more done. And number 11, this is my favorite, stop thinking and start doing. Stop thinking and using all of your energy thinking about all the things that you have to do, and just start doing them and knocking them off your list, scheduling them, prioritizing them, and before you know it, you will not have too much on your plate. So I'd love to know your experience with this expression, especially during these times of COVID, as there's so much change and so much transition going on. Share in the comments below so that other people we can learn from one another. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it in your business and even in your life right now? Take care.